Some of you may be aware of the dynamic spin release, which is by Tim and Chris Holborn. And if you haven't had a look at their website, go and have a look. They've got a whole set of techniques based on that spiral function and how you can use that and take it outside the body. And you may or may not be familiar with the whirling dervishes. I just want to read you a couple of quotes from the paper around this spiraling and whirling. Just as the earth rotates around the sun, our thoughts, feelings, and actions have a certain spin quality to them as well. I just wonder, where do we use that in NLP? Where do we hear about spiraling or spinning out of control, or my gut's twisted on this one, or all the language that you might hear? I'm going round in circles. It's going round and round in my head. So we know at some level about this spiraling. We don't necessarily make use of it in a functional way. According to quantum mechanics, the entire nature of our universe is based on spin. Hence, spin is an intrinsic property of all elementary particles, such as quarks, leptons, and bosons, which are the basic building blocks of our universe. So not only are we tapping inside to ourselves, we're tapping into that universal energy, which just fascinates me. And of course, the whirling dervishes, from a Sufi perspective, very much Rumi, tradition of Sufi spinning. A lot of his poetry refers to it. A lot of those quotes are Rumi quotes referring to it. And that's taking it into that spiritual connection element. So while I'm going to be talking about heart anchors at an emotional level, once you start playing with this, there's all sorts of places that you can take it to that go way beyond just an emotional anchor. So I hope I've kind of just set you a little bit of the scene in terms of where it came from. For me, setting heart spirals comes out of the embodied wisdom course of embraining. It was a tool I learned from Grant Suzalu, one of the developers of the field of embraining. And embraining, if you haven't heard of it, is an extension of NLP. So a few stages that we kind of maybe need to be aware of. From embraining, emotions sit at heart level. And I know, Eugene, we've talked about this before together, that if you ask somebody where they feel a strong emotion, nobody ever goes, oh, it's in my limbic system. They feel it.
It's in my ankle.
Yeah, my left little toe. So they feel it in their heart. And we're going to use that in a really positive way to access that emotion and then anchor it moving forward. So I'm assuming that people on the call are going to have some knowledge about anchoring as an NLP technique. I don't, if for people who haven't come across it,
let's just give like a brief definition, if you will, like a bare bones definition of anchoring, just so we have it, like, for everybody who's watching.
Yeah, and that's why I put this slide in, just to give the absolute basics. We all anchor lots of things every day, and some of the things I thought of was like a red traffic light. You don't consciously think, oh, that's a red traffic light, I must stop. Your body has built this automatic response to a red light that creates a particular response that means that you stop. Same with a ringing phone. And probably the most kind of well-known historical research around it was Pavlov's dogs. He got to the point where he rang a bell and the dog salivated, even though there was no steak there for the dog to eat. So in NLP, we use this to our advantage and say that we can create a state in the body, an emotional state, by using the knowledge of how our emotions kind of work through the body. The level of the emotion, once you've either been triggered by something or you're thinking of something, it rises and it falls pretty much like a bell curve, like that little graph shows. And there's a fairly predictable response to that. In fact, some of the latest research says, unless you interfere with emotion and start thinking about it and ruminating it, it'll be gone in 90 seconds. So just let it pass. But there's sometimes you want that emotion to hang around. If it's joy or peace or gratitude or appreciation, you want to hang around, you can do that by setting what we call an anchor, just like Pavlov did with the dog, to a particular body part. So for me, this is one that I use when presenting. You could attach it to a visual, you could attach it to a sound. What we're going to do today is attach it to a heart spiral.
Wasn't that absolutely fantastic? I'm sure that you found a lot of information in this very short video you just saw, maybe like 4 or 5, 6 minutes, however long it was. But that is not all. You can have access to the entire presentation of this amazing speaker, plus 40 more other presentations and speakers, and you can have access for life. You can have access to the video recording, to the audio recording, to the swipe files, to the transcripts, to all of the bonuses and the special gifts that all of the speakers and presenters and also the organizers are offering in the Premium Pass package. So if you like this, if you want more, make sure to sign up below for the Premium Pass and have lifetime access to everything. I'm sure it'll be one of the best investments you've ever made in your life, in yourself, in your practice, in your health, and also with working with clients. So go ahead, click on the button below, sign up for the Premium Pass, and we'll